Hello and welcome. Happy Thursday, everybody. We are here again live. I'm Amber. I will be taking your questions on behalf of Gabriela Hernandez. Yay!
Hello, welcome everybody, welcome. Today we're just going to be answering all of your questions and anything you want to know or are curious about, let us know. And we might touch on some general questions that we've seen on the website and on our social channels. So we'll try to answer as many things as we can.
Yeah, and so we've taken some questions from Instagram and such already, but if you have another question you'd like to ask, definitely put it in the comments. Don't be shy. And it can be stuff about Gabriela's. If you want to know about what Gabriela thinks about a certain classic movie, go ahead, or about a collection. That's all there. So we'd love to hear your questions live. Absolutely. But to get us started, we'll go with some questions we've been having on the website and social media. So, Gabriela, with the cold cream. So, cold cream is so cool because it's both an old product and a new product. And we had just some people asking questions about why we use coconut oil and also exactly how to use it. Like, do you leave it on like old cold cream or do you remove it with water? So I just wanted to ask you about that first.
Sure. Well, this version of cold cream is different than your typical cold cream in a very fundamental way that this version of cold cream actually washes off. It's supposed to be
Mhm.
washed off with warm water or a towel with water on it so that you can wash it off because when the cream touches water, it turns into kind of a milky type of
Mhm.
liquid that you can rinse off. So it is really a cleanser and it does wash off with water. So it's not the old-fashioned cold cream was just a very oily cream that you can put it on and remove things with it, and then you would wipe it off and you would still have a residue of this cream on your face. This cream is not designed to be used that way. It's designed to really, you can massage it and get everything off, but then when you add water to this, it actually melts everything off, including your makeup and the cream, and it leaves your skin really soft, but without any kind of greasy residue on your skin. The coconut oil that's in there is very, very slight. It's like a fraction of a percent. And it's only to aid in the removal of the makeup. So it doesn't actually sit on your skin. It doesn't stay on your skin. So there isn't any issue with being comedogenic or anything of this sort because of that, because it's not intended to stay on the skin. Remember, it washes off. And what's left is really, really nice and moisturized skin, but it's not sticky and there's no film on your skin. So remember, this is one of the main things is that this is washed off the skin. So you literally remove it with some warm water, and it turns into that milk the minute that it touches water. So that's one of the main differences between this version of cold cream and the old-fashioned cold cream.
Excellent. So yes, and it's the fun of a new product that's a little bit different. We get a lot of questions about
Mm-hmm.
it. So I love that you're taking some time to answer all that stuff now. Lovely. Rosa said she also loves your Topo Gigio in the in the background.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. That's one of my old toys. It's one of the only ones that I have left from when I was a child. So it came all the way from Argentina, and I've had it for many years now.
Mhm.
50
Oh.
years or more. So it's a very old toy that I've had since I was very young, and
Mhm.
it's the only one that survived all of the moves and the things from all of the places that we moved to when I was young. So since I moved several times, a lot of my possessions didn't make it across most of the moves. So this is one of the only things that I have from when I was really little.
Oh, that's so great. I'm glad there's all kinds of like fun facts on the wall behind you, which is
Yes,
always
yes,
very
yes,
cool.
yes. All kinds of secrets back here.
Okay, we've had already some great questions coming in. First, a really easy one. What lip color and nail color are you wearing right now?
I am wearing Victory Red on my lips, and I am wearing, I think, Besame Red on my nails.
Oh, lovely. And we had some questions about Victory Red. Both, will Victory Red be coming back? And also, Sheila says she has Victory Red. Is there a lighter shade? What lighter shade than Victory Red would you recommend?
Victory Red is coming back. The first part of that question, yes, we are making Victory Red again, and it is coming back. Victory Red is brighter than a lot of our reds and stronger. So one that's a little bit less so is Besame Red. So Besame Red would be the next color over if you want something that's not quite as bright as the Victory. Try the Besame Red.
Wonderful. And yes, it will be back. We had, let's see, sorry, Victory Red will be back. We had a couple questions about also skincare, saying they love the skincare,
Mhm.
and is there an eye cream in the future?
Yes, we are working on an eye cream and it will be out soon. We're developing it now, trying to get it just right so that it gives you the results that you're looking for on an eye cream. Again, if you have suggestions or if there's something that you want the eye cream to do in particular, let us know and we'll try to see if we can incorporate that into the formulation. But what I like personally is something that definitely tightens around the eye so that you
Hmm.
get kind of like if you have loose skin around the eye, it kind of feels tighter. And definitely if you have bags under the eyes, they look a little bit less puffy. So those are some of my main concerns. But if you have other ones, let me know, and we'll try to add that to that cream.
Excellent. We had a question about what vintage ladies, singers, actresses, or models do you get inspired by?
Oh boy, all kinds of them, and for different things. I mean, I love the style of different, obviously different artists for different things. I mean, obviously Marilyn Monroe had a certain allure to her, the way she did her makeup, and was really very unique for the time. She really figured out how to do these things. Um, of course, older actresses like, Dolores Del Rio and Myrna Loy, Veronica Lake, all of these different actresses that had, very distinct personalities to them that
Hmm.
all kind of left their mark in Hollywood. But really all even in the 60s, somebody like Barbara Eden and her
Hmm.
characters and the way that she did the makeup and that in the styling for her Jeannie character was and Elizabeth Montgomery on Bewitched as well, and all of the 1960s shows that were really really fun, and they definitely had a style and they established a character. Of course, Lucia Ball with her shows as well. She definitely had her own individual style. So all of the ladies that kind of created their own persona like this is I admire all of them for really um, coming up with it and figuring it out and making a character that's uh, so recognizable and so loved.
Yeah, that's delightful. Stacy asks, would you ever think of making a navy blue cake mascara?
Navy blue was a color that was very popular. It was used quite a bit. Throughout the turn of the century. It's a very popular color. It has been a very popular color. But for some reason, in when we came into the 2000s, and uh, blue seemed to be a color that most people were afraid of or didn't really want to wear. It
Hmm.
just wasn't as popular of a color anymore. I'm not quite positive why that happened, but blue seemed to be a color that um, was not in favor for a while,
Yeah.
actually. And even now, it's hard. to make blues that people actually want to wear. Most people are rather shy about the color blue.
Hmm.
I don't know. It's because it's very noticeable when you wear blue, as opposed to when you wear brown and it just kind of looks like a shadow, or a
Yeah.
natural shadow. But when you wear blue, obviously people can tell that you're wearing blue. So I think the fact that it is so obvious when you wear it, it's a lot of more conservative people uh, don't seem to favor it. So that's the reason that we haven't made a lot of blues, because every time we do make them, people are kind of shy to use them.
Hmm.
So I would be all for a blue mascara because I think it would be lovely, but I just don't know how many of you would want one. So let us know in the comments if you actually would wear a blue mascara.
Delightful. Let's see. We have lots of great questions coming in. We had one, what is your daily beauty ritual? Can you share your beauty regimen?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't. I'm quite busy. I do a lot of things in a day, so I don't have a lot of time for beauty rituals, to tell you the truth. But I do certain things all the time, like you wash your face. I don't have a huge regimen of creams and things that I use. I just use really a day cream, a night cream, vanishing cream if I'm putting on makeup.
Mhm.
But that's about it. I've never was the type to have like serums and other items that you introduce to your routine. I just
Mhm.
never made time for that kind of thing. If you like to use them, that's great. I just haven't really found the need for them. So I keep it fairly simplistic, very old fashioned and simple. If you remove your makeup with cold cream, put a cream in the morning, a cream in the evening, and you know, makeup when I'm going out or when I need to. But when I'm staying home, I usually just don't bother with makeup unless I am going out somewhere. But at home, I usually don't use makeup. I just use a moisturizer and maybe some balm. I like to use the color changing balm because it gives a little bit of a color, but it's very moisturizing. So the our color changing lipsticks, the blue to pink one
Yeah.
is a nice choice to just wear at home. Um, but that's about it. I use a pencil for the brows and cake mascaras and as eyeliners, and some very basic shadows, and cream blush and some lipstick, and that's about it. I mean, it's yeah, not too too complicated as far as
Okay.
products. I don't usually do like highlighters or other types of products. Again, I keep it pretty simple, straightforward.
Mhm.
But I like to try them. Sometimes I try them just for fun, but it's not something that I use on a daily basis. Just because I keep my routine to like a 5 minute makeup kind of
Yeah.
thing, because I usually have to get out to do something, so I try to keep the routine to around 5 minutes or less.
Excellent. We have a lot of comments that they would love a navy blue mascara, so who knows?
Oh, well, there you
There's
go, there you
people out
go.
there for
So
sure, which is a lot of
okay.
fun. I know, so this, we know we can't give any details, but we've just had lots of questions of if we will get to have another iconic women collection
Yes, yeah, there
and
is an
if we'll
icon.
get to
Yeah,
do another
there's
Disney. Yeah,
yes,
good.
yeah, there is two iconic women this year, and there is a Disney collection this year. So
Oh,
for
good.
sure, yes, there are two iconic women, and there is a Disney collection.
Yay.
I can't tell you exactly the dates,
Yeah,
but there are two iconic women, and there is a Disney one this year.
cool. And yeah,
And
sorry
and
that
all
we
of them
can't
are
share
very,
more.
yeah, Yeah, we can't share more right now, but they are very ambitious and very, very specialized collections. And we really pulled out all the stops on these. So I'm very eager to see what you think of them, because we really did some cutting edge techniques on these products.
Yay. Very exciting. Something to look forward to for sure. Let's see,
Yes,
we had a couple
yes,
of blush questions. So one,
yeah.
what asked what blush you're wearing today.
I'm wearing the regular crimson rouge. I always wear crimson rouge most of the time. It's my go-to color.
That's so pretty. And we had one question. Let me just see. Which cream blush is best for fair complexions?
Well, the crimson is usually the most likely to go with the fair complexion, because it is a pinky kind of a blush, and it looks fairly natural on somebody that's light skin. You just need to use very little of it. You have to remember that this is very concentrated product, so
Yes.
you barely have to touch the product with your finger, and then that's enough. That's pretty much it. That's all you need. So the product will last you a very long time, because you really don't use a lot of it, because a little goes a long way. Put it on, kind of on the edge of your cheekbone here, and then just spread, because it will spread. So if you make a mistake, you don't have to worry about it, because you could just
Hmm.
spread it and diffuse it until it's very, very slight. But start with a small amount, because then you can always build. If you want more, put another little fingertip of it on and blend it again.
Yay. And I am a very, very fair-skinned person, and I
Hmm.
actually can wear all of the colors of blush. So even apricot, which I would have thought would be much too orange, actually still
Hmm.
looks really nice because they let your actual skin show through. So the color is still very
Yeah.
strongly there, and yet it blends with your skin tone. So it really works. And I'm wearing the Mary Poppins Cream Rouge today, if that's helpful at all. Yay. Let's see.
The cream rouges do that because the reason they work this way is because our formula doesn't have any white in it. So there is no white base in the formula. It's just color. So it will look natural on any skin tone, because your skin will still show through. There isn't any white that goes over it. It's just the color.
Yeah.
So your color skin will show through the blush. So it always looks fairly natural, because of the fact that you're seeing your skin. You're not seeing something that's covering it.
Yeah, exactly. And we
Mhm.
can't give any clues about any of the Disney or iconic women stuff coming up, unfortunately. It would be fun,
Yeah,
but it's just
yes,
like legally not allowed. So, but we will
yes.
as soon as we can, for sure. We had
Mhm.
Sheila asked a question. Did actresses back in the 30s and 40s, did they do their own makeup?
Some of them did, but most of them did not, because of the fact that, remember that the studio basically created the image of what the actress was supposed to look like. They
Hmm.
created the character that they wanted this actress to be. So, for example, if you take somebody like Rita Hayworth, for example, they wanted her to be kind of a um, exotic looking person, not necessarily um, Latin, but with a flair of the exotic. So she was from somewhere. She wasn't from here, but you weren't necessarily sure where she was from.
Hmm.
So they actually created her look in order to portray that particular character, because that's the character they wanted to sell to the consumer. So that's why they did her hair brown, and they kind of made her forehead longer, and
Hmm.
they dressed her in different clothing to kind of give that impression of kind of an exotic femme fatale type of character, because that's what they wanted her to be. So this is kind of how Hollywood worked at the time. They took an actress, and beside character actors, because obviously character actors could be whatever character they were playing, and they were made up to look like whatever character they were playing. But if you are talking about leading ladies, they all had a certain type of character that they portrayed, either an ingenue type of character, so that it was always kind of an innocent girl, or somebody that was very sultry and always, very sexy, or somebody that was very obviously Hispanic, a character like Carmen Miranda, for example, that was very obviously represented an ethnic character, or Lupe Velez, for example, that it was a very exaggerated Mexican accent or a Latin character. And that's the character she played in all the films. Even though that might not have been exactly who she was, that's what they wanted. That's what the studio wanted to portray. So, so a lot of them, because of this, the makeup people did their looks. They made them look the way they wanted. So they created the characters and they made them look like that with their own makeup people. But there were some actors that actually do their own makeup, because they were very particular and they knew which angles were better for themselves. Like Marlene Dietrich, for example, she did a lot of her own makeup because she knew her face, she knew what worked for her, and she did her own makeup because she knew what her best features were and how to portray them with the lighting. So she would tell people, how to shoot her and this, but not all of the actors were like this. Most of them just did whatever the studio said, but there were some. Marilyn did as well. She did her own makeup for a lot of things, because again, she knew and studied what worked. She knew what kind of lighting would look best on her. She knew where to put the shading on her face to make it look like she wanted. So they did a lot of work to hone it down to a place where they knew exactly what they were going for. So they didn't trust any other people to do it. They knew how to do it themselves, and so they would demand to do it themselves. But it wasn't the norm necessarily.
That's fascinating. Thank you so much. That's such an in-depth, great answer. And yeah, a fascinating glimpse into stars having their own control in studios. Really, really cool. Another little fun question for you, Gabriela. What do you think is your favorite, what's your go-to Besame shade that you like to wear?
For lipstick, you mean?
For lipstick, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, for lipstick, you usually right now, because of the fact that I always want a kind of a more up, because there was so much news that was bringing me down quite a bit, that I'm gravitating to the brighter shades. So I've been wearing a lot of Victory Red, Bessemer Red, those very bright, bold colors. So I've been wearing those most of these months, just because I like the pick me up of that color, you know. So I haven't been wearing any of the darker tones. I've been wearing mostly the lighter ones. The darkest one I've worn is probably Forever Red is probably the
Yeah.
darkest one that I've worn in these past few months. Most of the colors were on the brighter side.
And because we had another question about Forever Red coming back, and actually the
Yeah.
lab that makes those has had a little bit of a problem, so that's why it's a little slower getting those back in stock. So we don't have an exact date we can give you right now for those, but they will be back as soon as possible. So it's in the process, and those both of those colors
Yes.
will be back soon, which
Yes.
is great. Violet Pumpernickel, I like that name very much. Will you be bringing back your pan stick makeup foundation, possibly?
Not this year, because everything's been already scheduled this year, and because of manufacturing issues, I can't introduce that kind of formula right now. But possibly the year after, we might look into some type of foundation again. But this year, it's not in the schedule this year.
Did you have talking earlier about your Topo Gigio in the background, are there any other new items added to your background or bookshelf lately, or any other
Uh,
a top favorite you want to talk
I
about?
don't know. I
That's
believe
okay. And
I have it
actually,
back
someone
here.
suggested to do like a tour of your bookshelves one
A
day for
tour.
one
Oh
of these
yes.
videos.
Oh sure. Yes, I have a lot of the antiques that I usually purchase before I do collections. I usually purchase a lot of antiques just to give me framework of the character and what was produced in that period for it. So
Hmm.
so whatever it is that I find, I usually put it back in my case back here. So
Hmm.
it's full of all kinds of stuff that I collected through the years of making different things or using different things for reference. So yeah, it's chock full of all kinds of that kind of stuff.
Okay. I actually just got an update, so I'm sorry I accidentally lied to everybody. Victory Red will be back the week of February 8th. So the week of February 8th, Victory Red will be
Oh,
back
awesome.
then, and then Forever Red will be, coming along as quickly as we can after. So just in time for Valentine's Day. That'll be nice.
Awesome.
Let's see. Would you ever branch out into other vintage products like clothes or accessories?
Clothes, I don't know about. Clothes is a whole other type of business, and I know a lot of people that produce clothes. I mean, I've been friends with so many people that have brands of reproduction clothes
Hmm.
and all kinds of vintage type clothes, and it's a very very difficult business that, and I don't know if I would ever want to get into that business.
Hmm.
I just yeah, it's I barely know the one I'm in, so I don't know if I know even enough to even
Oh.
get into another business that I don't know anything about. Uh, so I probably it's a very complicated business, clothing. If you know anybody that makes clothing, you know that it's a really hard business to run. And so I don't think clothing accessories, it just depends what kind of accessories. You know, we've done a few items through the years of things that you can use on your vanity and things. So so we try to do some things that are fun and that, but I don't know if I would do like a line of accessories necessarily in the future, but we'll probably continue to do some fun things for you that you can use and keep in your vanity.
Yay. And this might not be able to answer it now, but might be great for next week. Is someone asked about the perfume, one of the perfume bottles on your shelves behind you, and would love to know more about it. So we might talk
Okay.
about more of those next week, just because
Sure.
there's so many things
Yes.
behind her. I want
Yes.
Gabriella to have to like get at her own
Yeah,
shelves
sure.
right now, but we will absolutely talk more about all that stuff in
Definitely.
in weeks
Yes.
to come. So yes, one question we got a number of times was if you had to pick a favorite of your limited collections you've made, Gabriela, which one would you pick? You had to pick a favorite.
Oh boy. I think I mean I loved all the collections because we did so many fun things with all of them. But I think the one that probably impacted so many people in a deep way, and we had a lot of fun just because it was such an extended release. So we played a lot of games and we did a lot of interaction. Was probably the Agent Carter collection because we just did so much storytelling with that one, and it was so much fun to play very long games with people to
Hmm.
figure out clues and things. So it was a lot of fun for a very months of time before it was even released, and then we did a game, we did a VR thing, we did all kinds of really wild stuff with that. So that was kind of a really kind of out of the box type of thing,
Hmm.
and we put a lot of effort into it, and I think people really enjoyed it. So I think it's one of the ones that sticks out as having a really impact on people.
Well, Oh, great. Yes, that's a huge fan favorite that I know people ask you about quite a bit. And it's good to
Yes.
know that it was, fun for you as it was for everybody else
Oh,
getting to enjoy it.
yeah,
Let's see.
definitely.
Heather asked, have you ever done a hair tutorial? Because she always thinks her hair is done so nice, done so prettily, I mean.
I did one with Rusty Frank a long time ago. She's
Oh,
a teacher, a dance teacher, and she really neat lady. And when we had our first shop on Victory Boulevard many years ago, she would come and do like a hair tutorial. We would do like a hair and makeup tutorial, and she would do like a really quick um, you know, tutorial on how to do victory rolls and things on your
oh,
hair, but very fast, like 5 minute victory rolls kind of
oh,
thing.
wow.
Uh, yeah, it was a lot of, yeah, it was like this, really quick, and uh, and it was so much fun. And we did classes like this, groups of like around 20 people, and it was a blast. We had a lot of fun with it. People had tons of fun, and it was just fast and furious kind of victory roll
Mhm.
tutorial. So we might do that again if you guys want to do that again. We can definitely do it online. It's a shortcut. It's definitely a shortcut way of doing this vintage hair. Shortcut of vintage hair, I guess. And it was fun, and I think if you guys are interested, let us know, and we'll plan to do some really quick hair tutorials that you could do at home.
Yeah, we have a couple people that are interested, and I think Gabrielle's also lucky
Mhm.
because your hair just naturally seems to just like fall into these just perfect little,
Yeah,
perfect
well,
little curls.
yeah,
So your
it's
tutorial would
just
just
it's
be done.
it's just well, my hair is curly though. That's the thing.
No,
I
it's
mean, it's not
beautiful.
like, I but it's funny though, because when I was little, all my life, I tried to have straight hair. Everybody that has one type of hair wants the other type. I
Hmm.
wanted like really stick straight hair, and I could never have it
Yep.
because my hair was always curly, and I always tried to straighten it, and it was just a pain because you just, anytime you hit any kind of moisture, it would just like poof,
Yes.
you know, kind of thing, and it just it is at a certain age you go, I'm just going to accept what it is, and just go with it, and then that's it. You just go with
Yep.
it, and it does what it does, and that's that.
Yeah, and now everybody wants your hair, so
I
it
know,
all
isn't
works
that
out.
funny though, because
It
I
is.
always hated it most of my life, so it was just very funny.
Yeah.
It's very funny that now it's, I come to accept it, and that's that.
There you go. Let's see. We had a question. Would you consider making more vintage pinks, like pinks from the 50s and 60s?
Yeah, we have a lot of pinks coming up this year. So you will see a lot of pinks, different years. With a few of the collections that we're doing, have quite a bit of different lip colors, like a lot of different lip colors. So you'll have a lot of variety there for sure.
And then we had one interesting question. And if you have any remaining questions on Facebook or YouTube, everybody that's watching, first, thank you for all these great questions. And if you have one, go ahead and put it in now so we can make sure we get to it. So one that was kind of fun, is there anything that you've always wanted to do with Besame that you haven't done yet?
Well, everything that I wanted to do, I kind of was able to do now. Was like I wanted to do those refillable compacts for a very long time, and I wasn't able to do it until last year. So now we have the refillables, and I'm very happy that we can do these types of compacts. That I have a really good partner that to work with as far as manufacturing, and I can do all these things. I'm also looking into other materials to use on compacts, which is very exciting. Also, new materials on lipsticks, and in making fully recyclable lipsticks. And so things like this that I haven't been able to do in the past, I'm now getting into the point where I can. So I am getting to kind of take off a bunch of things on my list actually this year. So I'm pretty happy about that. There's always new stuff that I want to do that I haven't
Yeah.
gotten to, but I picked out some of the big ones. I
Mhm.
think, and this year I think I'll do a lot of them that I've been wanting
Oh,
to do. So I'm very happy about that. That it's taken a long time, but it's finally here.
yay. Oh, that's amazing. We had a couple less questions. A few people asked about perfumes and if the perfume
Yes,
line, you had the Decades
yes.
perfumes, if those would be coming back anytime in the future.
We are working on them right now, and I'm planning to have them before the end of the year. So we're
Oh,
working on them right now, and I'm definitely trying to get everything together and doing all the different molding of different parts and things to get those to you.
mhm.
But yes, definitely I'm working on them uh, very much to have them out before the end of the year.
Oh, lovely. And a fun question. Did you watch WandaVision and did you like the feeling, like the look of the old sitcoms that they did?
Yes, I did watch WandaVision. It was interesting to say the least. What they did with the different things, very very interesting. That they went. There was then I watch all these people like analyzing all the Easter eggs and stuff. It's like, oh my goodness,
Right,
there's just
right.
so much stuff in here. I didn't even realize all the things that they're pointing at that are like, oh, this is means that, and this means this, and this character
Yeah.
means that. It's like there's so many hidden things on there, but it was done very well. I can,
Mhm.
you know, it was definitely you could see that they did the Dick Van Dyke set for the
Yeah.
beginning shot, and then they did the set from Bewitched for
Mm.
the second one. So very obvious a copy of that set uh, for except for a few exceptions on it, but it was
Yeah.
pretty close to it. So yeah, no, it was fascinating to see them trying to emulate this show, and also the laugh track and the laugh
Yeah.
things over there. It was very very funny. I don't, you know, for me it was kind of interesting to see. I don't know how Marvel people necessarily took to this because it really is off character, I guess, for them.
Yeah.
You know, to
Yeah.
see these, and also to see a guy like, you know, that is a robot, you know, uh, but you know, to put them in that era, it was kind of
Yeah.
interesting. But it was really interesting and really fun. I enjoyed it.
Oh,
I'm dying to see what happens next. I'm going to tune in for the next ones. I'm very interested in seeing how they
oh,
continue to work up to the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Like it looks like they're going into like a Brady Bunch kind of thing going on. So
yeah.
it's kind of a very or the Partridge Family maybe
Yeah, probably
something
that.
like
And then
that.
they're definitely going into the 80s too, because I've seen a clip from that from
Yeah,
future episodes. So yeah, that would
yeah,
be interesting. Yeah,
yeah.
Brady Bunch kind of
Yeah,
set would be.
well, styling wise, yeah, styling wise, it's interesting to see how they did her hair, kind of more
Hmm.
curly at the beginning, and then they went with more of the Samantha kind of flick
Yeah.
for the second one,
Hmm.
in the pants,
Yeah.
you know, very very interesting on their styling for the different shows, and also the suits, you know, for the men, very
Yeah.
interesting as well. It was very fun. I enjoyed it. The other one people ask me about is Bridgerton. I don't know if you've seen that,
Right, right.
but a lot of people have seen that, and they've asked me, you know, what do I think of that as um, a period show, and I just, you know, for me it was just a fun show. It was
Yeah.
just fun to watch. You know, it's kind of like a French pastry type of show. You just kind of eat it
Yeah.
and you just don't think about calories or anything else. You just eat it, and that's what
Hmm.
it was. It was kind of like a very sumptuous kind of visual feast type of
Yeah.
show. Um, it not necessarily period accurate per se for all
Sure.
of it, you know, but it was just beautiful to watch and fun, just a lot of fun. So sometimes, you know, if people don't necessarily do things exactly, it doesn't really matter because it's the spirit of what the show was trying to do, and it's just kind of an interpretation of the period. It's not necessarily um, dead on. But then
Yeah.
there are shows that are like Sylvie's Love. If you've seen Sylvie's Love on Amazon, I mean that show, it looks real. You know, the makeup is very real to the period that
Mhm.
it's trying to. And the makeup artist did a really nice job of making the makeup look authentic to the period,
Yeah.
not overdone, not just really really clean and a very good interpretation of what it actually looked like in that
Yeah.
period. So that one, if you are interested in seeing really good representation of late 50s 60s makeup, watch Sylvie's Love on Amazon Prime, and you'll see how she the makeup artist really did capture that really well.
Yeah, absolutely. Wonderful. We had a couple comments just saying that
Yes.
you are beautiful and that they love your complexion and just love everything
Oh,
about you. So
thank
just
you.
letting you know.
Oh boy. Oh, well,
Um,
thank
a,
you so much. Thank you.
a quick question from Kristen of any tips on
Yeah.
how to store lipsticks or like makeup
Well,
organization.
store them in a cool and dry environment, because obviously you don't want anything that gets too hot. If it gets too hot, obviously the what happens is the lipsticks start to sweat. What they, like we sweat, the lipstick sweat.
Hmm.
So what happens is the oils in the lipstick bullet merge out of it, and then they become little droplets on the outside of the thing. So basically, it doesn't make the lipstick bad, but it does take away some of the moisture in the lipstick. So the lipstick
Mm.
is going to end up feeling drier to you, because some of the oils that were in it have merged out of it in these little droplets that are outside of it. Uh, so you want to make sure that the lipstick doesn't get so hot that it starts to do that. And over 100 degrees, it starts to do that. So
Mm.
store it in a temperature that's more medium to cooler, so that it doesn't do that, that it always stays intact.
Hmm.
And in and moisture also is not a good thing, because moisture leads to development of bacteria and other things. So don't store it where you have moisture close by. So dry and medium heat type of environment are the best. But if you want to keep it for a long time, you can also store them in the refrigerator if you want. In That will keep them a bit longer, because the cold will make it, the oils in it oxidize at a slower pace. So
Mm.
if you want to keep them for a very long time, you might want to keep them cooler.
Yeah, and you don't have to store them in the refrigerator or anything like that. That's just for really
No.
extended times, or especially if you live in a place like
Hmm.
Arizona or sometimes even here in California in the
Yes.
summertime, there's just like no escaping
Yes.
how hot it is. So
Yes.
sometimes times like that can be good to store like that
Yes.
too. Yay.
And then the lipsticks that shinier lipsticks, or sticks that are softer, like the color changing lipstick, for example, are more susceptible to heat. So they will melt faster than other more solid color formulas. So keep that in mind too, because it takes
Hmm.
less heat to melt that lipstick than it does a regular one. So
Excellent.
any kind of shiny, balmy type of lipsticks,
Yeah.
those keep in mind to keep in the cooler environment, because they will melt faster.
Yay, delightful. That's about all the time we have for right now. Oh, also Noreen just made a really nice comment. She just said she wanted to appreciate your cosmetics so much and love the way the family way the company is run. So I just thought that was very sweet.
Oh, thank
And
you. Thank you so much. I have a trivia question for you guys. So how many of you guys know what this is?
whoa, give it. Are there any clues, or you want to just leave it at that?
I'm just gonna
Excuse
kind of
me.
leave it at that.
Ooh, are we gonna reveal it next week or today?
Yeah, next week I'll tell you all about these
Ooh.
if you don't know what they are. But
So yeah,
There,
leave a
there
guess
it is.
in the comments, or if you want to send us a DM on Instagram at Besame Cosmetics, you can also leave that
Hmm.
there. Fascinating. A little
All
cliffhanger,
right.
a little trivia cliffhanger for
Cliffhanger for
everybody.
next week.
Well, thank you so
All
much,
right.
Gabriela, once again, and thank you everybody for watching on Facebook and YouTube. So delightful. And Gabrielle will absolutely do another one of these to answer questions. It's so nice to hear from everybody and hear all this beautiful insight from Gabriela on such a range of things. So delightful. All right.
So,
Thank you, Gabriela, again. Thank you for
thank
watching, and we
you.
will see you next week at 1 p.m. Pacific. We'll see you then. Bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.